Last time on the Protagonist seat. Ian, no!
I have to do it!
There's no more time.
What is the code? Give it to me!
I'll see you in hell.
We need to protect the president's sister.
The Protagonist seat. Cue intro. Dong 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 dong.
The president's sister is dead!
Welcome to the Protagonist seat. I'm Alex,
And I am Ian.
and this is the most action-packed podcast.
We did fail to protect the president's sister, and we don't know what the codes are. But that's okay, because none of those things matter right now.
All that matters is Jean-Pierre Polnareff, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 5.
Yeah, I'm glad I had that figured out when they showed him the first time, and I was like,
Yeah.
Is that motherfucker Jean-Pierre Polnareff?
And it basically tells you, too. It's just like, hey, look, Jean-Pierre Polnareff.
Hey, you remember our good buddy JP? Well, he's 35 and he's not looking so hot.
And he's got one of the stand arrows.
And he knows he's got the secret.
He is in a wheelchair now, and it looks like he lost both of his legs.
Yes. And he's got some weird metal legs now.
Yeah.
And he's got like a weird eye patch and a scarred eye. But it's like a see-through. It must be a transitions eye patch.
Or it's like a scanner or something.
He's scanning Oasis's power levels.
Yeah, so this episode, the Oasis and Bruno fight, and Secco realizes really quick the mold isn't affecting people. And then he realizes Chocolat must have lost.
R.I.P.
And immediately you'd think he'd be all upset, but instead he's like, ha! Guess that means you were just weak, Chocolat.
Because, of course, he's a villain.
In JoJo.
Yeah, so of course that's how he thinks.
And his whole idea now is that he's going to be the one who takes down the boss.
So they fight. He fights Sticky Fingers.
Honestly, we see a really cool usage of sticky fingers in this. Like,
there's a lot of like good ones.
if I actually could have any of their stands, I would want sticky fingers.
Me too. It's great.
Because there's that part where he's like, he cuts the pole in half and then he tries to start zipping it back together, so he almost gets slammed with the other side of it.
Yeah.
Or then when he's hanging on to like a street pole and he cuts the bottom so it flies off, so it like almost tries to go down and impale him.
Yeah. And there's where he's trapped underwater, and in order to like distract Secco, he cuts up the other one so it rains down in pieces.
He cuts up like a street lamp and it just falls into the water and disrupts his like sonar.
Lot of street lamp based violence in this episode.
Yeah. So Bruno realizes he can't escape Secco because he can just follow him from underground. So Bruno goes underground, and Secco gets really pissed off at this. He's like,
That's my ability.
yeah, that's my element. All you've done is basically just made it so I'm just going to strangle you with underground and kill you.
You have stepped into
dumbass.
my Baka. You have stepped into my domain now, and it kind of looks that way for a little bit.
And Secco thinks he's gaining on him. He realizes Bruno's cutting the pipes underground to mess with his sonar.
Yeah, because it makes a sound similar to Sticky Fingers, I guess.
Yeah.
But he continues onward, and Bruno realizes, oh wait, he's basically underwater. He's using sonar.
Yeah, and Secco gets an idea how to use Oasis, where we see a new ability, which is pretty broken, where he starts just eating mud and spewing it into the air, and as it comes back down, it hardens, and it becomes basically like a barrage of arrows.
Yeah, he turns it into death spike rain, because of course, he spits it out, and then it hardens again in the weird shape, and then it comes down, and it looks like Bruno's days are numbered.
And Bruno realizes, yeah, this isn't gonna work. So he decides to start moving again, and Seko hears him and follows him. And Seko ends up attacking him, which drags a bunch. It turns a lot of the area into like liquid ground, so a lot of stuff from the street level starts sinking in. And one of the things that falls in underground is a car. And Bruno realizes, hey, I'm basically dead at this point. Most of my body is just...
I'm falling apart.
Yeah. Bruno
it.
got his throat slit at one point, and it wasn't even bleeding.
Yeah, he's like, all right, my days are numbered. Even his skin is starting to turn to mud at this point because he's now becoming inanimate.
And he ends up, after Seko follows him down there, he's like, ha, I finally caught you, Brucharity. And Bruno's like, well, if I don't really take any damage, I'm sure my eardrums are going to survive this. And he pops a tire in one of the cars, which causes a huge shockwave of sound, which basically blows out Seko's eardrums.
Yep, he takes out his sonar devices, and this is the part where it really turns.
This is the part where the theme song starts playing, or like not the theme song, like
the battle theme.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, the hero is winning.
Go, Joe.
Joe. Bucciarati escapes onto land. Seko is like, he thinks I still can't sense him, but little does he know I know exactly where he is. And he starts to come up, but he's in the street, and he gets his leg all run over by a car. And
he realizes his entire sense is just all distorted now because he can't hear. So it's just random vibrations.
So he escapes onto the street.
And he sees Bruno coming at him, and he realizes the only thing left to do at this point is to take a hostage. And conveniently, who is it that he grabs? Doppio.
Yep, Doppio just happens to be there, just standing there, and Seko takes him hostage without even knowing he's the boss.
Yeah, and Bruno doesn't know either, and he approaches him, and he's like, if you come any closer, I'm gonna kill this kid. I know your range. And then Bruno basically uses sticky fingers. It looks like he punches through the boss, but then after the Doppio's like, I didn't even need to bother predicting that. Someone like Bruno obviously wouldn't let an innocent bystander like me get hurt.
He'd never let a kid like me die.
And basically Bruno used sticky fingers to zip open the boss's chest, and so he could punch Seko, and he basically delivers a killing blow to Seko.
Yep, he punches him, and then Seko stumbles off and falls into the back of the very same garbage truck that has Chocolat's body in it.
And as he falls in, he's like, what's happening to me? Chocolate?
Chocolat! And then the garbage truck freaking crimp crunches him and drives away.
Yeah.
The end.
And then Bruno collapses over because he realizes his body's basically out of time. And it ends with Doppio standing over Bruno. And yep. I think he's done.
I think this is the end.
I think the boss is going to deliver that killing blow to him next episode.
He's either going to...
Unless Polnareff does something.
He's either going to deliver the killing blow or realize that he doesn't even need to. And Bruno's just going to kind of...
Yeah.
Fade away on the street.
I'm still hoping we get the second before he does it, Silver Chariot, and then the blade flies through at him.
That would be dope as shit. And then he gets a couple final moments with the boys.
Yeah.
I like stand battles, man. They're cool.
Narancia and Trish have to get back into action because the mold's gone. So
yeah.
Come on, dudes.
Get your shit together.
You know what? Everybody fight at the same time. That would make these battles go so much easier.
It would. But,
Hey, imagine if Trish, with her, elastic ability, helped out during the Seko fight.
Imagine if Narancia, with his plane that can shoot missiles...
And follow someone via CO2?
Yeah, was fighting the man in the helicopter. Just shoot, literally just fly up and shoot the helicopter down. and then that's it.
It's like, hey, Narancia, I know you're resting right now, but you're a JoJo character. You're very durable. Can you please just blow up a helicopter real quick?
Yeah, come on. It's just one helicopter. Just blow it up real quick. Easy.
But I gotta say, this was the best fight so far. Chocolat and Sekko combined.
Yeah, it's great.
Best three-parter.
Exactly. It extends for a long period of time, but it doesn't feel like it drags at any point.
I think we're nearing the end. I think it's just the boss now.
Yep.
Gonna be the last battle.
Yep, because we're down our requisite 3 boys. So we're heading into final territory with our quad boys.
Well, we got it's 4 of them.
Yeah.
And then Trish. The Rising of the Shield Hero.
Show's good as fuck.
Cathartic episode.
Yeah, there's a lot of good shit that happens in this one.
So Naofumi wakes up and he's back in Melamark, and he has Raftalia, Philo, and Melty all sleeping by his bedside.
And he's been out for like, what is it, like a month, a couple weeks?
He's been unconscious for a month.
Yeah, so because turns out when you projectile like shoot most of the blood out of your body, you kind of need a little bit of R&R after that.
Yeah. And the queen comes to personally apologize to him for the way he's been treated.
Yeah, because she's the greatest person ever, and it turns out that she left to go put out the fires that everyone else started by fucking everyone over by summoning all 4 heroes at once.
Yeah, and she even says like that if he was summoned to like a country like Sylvet or whatever where they practice demi-human supremacy, that he would have been treated great there. He's like, maybe I'll just go there. And she's like, I don't have a right to stop you.
I literally can do nothing to stop that, but I will ask that you please don't do that.
And she said to make amends, they're going to... She whispers it to him, but you basically know that because he has a dream shortly after, they're going to execute the king and Malti.
It's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Because, like, what else would she say where they
And whether he stays or goes, they're going to do it, so it's not like, hey, this is only if you stay.
Yeah, it's like, we're going to do this no matter what. They're real big criminals, so, like, please show up for it.
Yeah. And he gets invited to go to the event, and none of the other parties are allowed in besides the Shield Hero party.
Because this is going to be a trial.
Yeah, and you see the Bow Guy's party's pretty pissed off about this, and some girl with green hair who may or may not be important later gets, like, tossed around by one of the dudes in the Bow Guy's party. Know.
Maybe it's the fact that they didn't even show that dude's face.
Now, he's got, like, a mustache. He's got, like, I'm a dick mustache. I think he has a mustache that goes into mutton chops, but don't quote me on that.
He probably does.
He's like a generic-looking knight dude. And then they're all there, and she shows up, and the rest of them are like, hey, where's the king? Even though we were told this was a matriarchy.
Yeah, it is Motoyasu that's... Actually, is it Motoyasu
No, I think Ren
it?
asks it.
That's
like, hey,
bad.
Where's the king?
Because Motoyasu's a dumbass, so I would expect that from him.
Maybe they didn't... Well, they probably didn't fully expect the... charges brought on them.
That's true. They did all seem pretty surprised when they bring in both Malty and the king in chains.
Yeah, I think his name is like Altocrat or Altocrat or something.
It's
Altcrat.
Alt something.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
The king. And it'll be easier when we call him by his new name after. But yeah. So she basically puts them on trial, and because Malty is a pathological liar, and she knows this, and she's her mom, she puts a slave crest on her, so she basically is forced to tell the truth. And even though she knows she is going to get shocked every time she lies the whole entire time.
Literally any chance she has to lie, she lies.
She's like, hey, did you work with the church to try to, like, take over the country? And she's like, no.
That's ridiculous.
Did you try to usurp the kingdom by killing your sister?
No.
Why would I do that? Did you say that the shield hero tried to rape you and lie about it? Yeah. And then Motayasu's like, I can't believe this. And she's like, you want to try yourself? Which was a pretty good solution.
Yeah. Do you want to put your own slave crest on her and try it? Yeah. And then he asks the same questions, and she gives the same answers, and she gets the same shocks.
Yep. And
this is also being broadcast to people outside. So this is like we're going to clear the Shield Hero's name.
And everyone's like, this is too far. But then she basically mentions like, hey, these two people basically started almost an entire war and caused a bunch of people suffering during the waves.
Think of how many people died because of their actions. And then I'm sure you'll agree with me.
And then everyone was like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, fuck them. Kill them.
Kill them!
And then they are brought to the guillotines to be executed.
And these are some weird-ass looking guillotines.
Yeah.
Like, they're not solid blades. They have, like, this weird U pattern, like, carved into them, and then it loops around to, like, a fish hook at the top.
And Malty's, like, begging Motoyasu to help her, and he's just kind of like...
Eh.
And then she even starts begging Naofumi to help her.
And... Now Fumi sees... Okay, so one thing about Malty getting shocked by the crest is shown in that way, where it's like it is very suggestive.
It is. The thing is on her cleavage. It's
yes,
just right there,
and it is heaving with the shocks, and they focus on it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But he sees that. She begs for her life, and the thingy does not get shocked. She's like, please help me, I beg of you. And he's like, well, shit.
And so he notices, too, the queen seems kind of like obviously hesitant about having to kill her husband and her first daughter.
As one would probably be.
And she's about to pull something out of her, out from behind her as she's about to lower her hand to have them signal the guards to, cut the rope on the guillotine. And then now Fumi walks out, and then he just starts doing a stand-up routine where he's just like, hey, come on. I don't think this thing's going to work right here, this guillotine. I don't think that's going to go all the way through her thick neck.
Yeah, she's got such thick skin, I don't think it'll even cut her.
And everyone's like, ha, 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 ha.
What a funny joke that you tell.
And then, and then after he's like, all right, you know what? I think this is fine. We don't need to kill them. We'll just have them renamed to the king will be renamed to Trash, and then Malty will be renamed to Bitch.
Yep, because their punishments are not, death is not severe enough for them.
And then the queen, also, they got stripped of their royal status.
Exactly.
And then the queen interjects, and she's like, oh, but Malty uses mine as her adventurer name. And he's like, good point. All right, so her adventurer name will be Slut.
Yep. So now we have...
Bitch and Trash.
Yeah, Bitch and Trash. And you know what? It's pretty good. And everyone seems very... Well, not everyone. But anyone who I don't hate seems very pleased about this.
Yeah. And we get a nice scene is after, like, they're having, like, festivities and stuff. And for some reason, the other heroes are like, man, the crowd's going nuts out there.
Yeah. We gotta join this party.
And all they do is stand outside while everyone's, like, cheering at the empty guillotines.
Yeah.
Where I'm like... And he's like, nah, I'm gonna take off. And then he says to the queen, he's like, I'm not gonna work for Mellowmark, but I'll still help you guys.
I am going to travel around and help.
Go wherever the waves are.
Yep, I will go fight the waves at the waves. And you know what? I'll still give you guys a hand.
And then as he leaves, Malty runs out and thanks him. And all the soldiers outside the city gates all lift up their swords and they're like, honor the shield hero.
Yeah.
And it's like a really nice moment where it's like, hey, this is where he was once kicked out with nothing. And now he's leaving and everyone's like, hey, he's a hero.
And the queen also announces that they're going to change their national religion from the Church of the Three Heroes to the Church of the Four Heroes.
Which makes sense.
And you know what? It really does. It also, let's see, there's also a little scene where Melty and the queen are speaking outside, and the queen looks like super winded and stressed, and Melty is like, what's up, Ma? And she's like, I was fully prepared to offer my own life to save theirs, so I'm pretty glad that's what the Shield Hero came up with. This is the optimal solution for everybody.
Yeah.
But a lot of resolution.
Really cathartic episode. He's finally got the respect he deserves.
Yeah, good for our boy.
And now we got to squeeze an arc in 4 episodes.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, this was the perfect end
this
spot.
This should have been where it ended, and it's gonna be rough. I don't see this being. I don't see the next arc being satisfying.
Me neither.
I would actually prefer it end on like a season 2 bait, just because I don't think you can give a proper resolution in 4 episodes if they're starting a whole nother arc.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
And actually, watching this one, I got so into it that when it was over, I was like, man, that was great. I'm going to miss that show.
Oh,
and then
wait.
it was
next episode, the Council of the 4 Heroes.
And then I remembered, oh yeah, this one's going to be 25 episodes. Well, shit.
Yeah, they kind of dropped the ball on the good spot to end it.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure we're not going to get anything else as like, man, that was great.
No. That's a big oops on their part.
Yeah. If it ended just on this episode, I would have like still had that be a contender for the show of the season for this season.
Me too.
But I don't think the next 4 are going to do it.
Probably not.
Yeah, unless they somehow do, and I'm going to be like, wow.
They do
Shield
like
Hero came together.
They do like the perfect cliffhanger over 4 episodes.
Yeah. If they actually do bait season 2, I'll be pretty happy. Like, it actually is a thing. Like, they have like, hey, season 2, 2020, and I'll be like, awesome. Yeah. I want that.
I'd be psyched about that. I like this show.
I don't want to have to read the novels because I don't want to read.
Me neither. Plus, that shit takes forever to translate.
They're actually being translated at a decent pace just because it's a popular enough series. Like, I think before you catch up or before you get to the untranslated ones, I think there's at least like 5 volumes you can read through.
Good.
Demons. Demon Slayer. Kimetsu no Yaiba. There's a lot of demons in this episode.
It's the fight episode.
It's a fight because this is a very, very standard shonen that just looks very nice.
Yeah. And you know what? It does look very nice. Because, like, holy shit. UFO table, they got their stuff together.
You got ball-throwing demon girl and the pale man.
Arrow boys.
Yeah, the dude with eyes on his hands.
Arrow boy in the picture. So balls are just bouncing everywhere. And they're like, what are these freaking balls bouncing everywhere?
They're just bouncy balls or whatever they're called. They're just like, they're not hard balls. But then the guy I don't like, it took off his head, and at first I was like, awesome.
Yeah, I
hated that kid.
At first I was genuinely surprised. I was like, holy shit, they killed him super quick. And then
thank you.
And then his head regenerated later, and it's like, oh, you did the thing that in my heart of hearts I knew you were gonna do, but was kind of hoping you weren't.
And then Tanjiro cuts the balls in half, and that doesn't stop them. They still like attack him. Just from now, there's more of them. But they disappear after he cuts them. But yeah, he's having a hard time with that until he gets it together, and the guy with the who got his head knocked off but then regenerated, it's like, can you see the arrows? And he's like, what arrows? And he's like, you can't even see the arrows. Here, I'll lend you my sight.
And he gives him a talisman.
And then after, he can now see that the balls are being pulled along by arrows,
and it looks cool.
And so he sends Nezuko to go take on the arrow dude. And so he's hiding up in a tree, and she just jumps up and starts kicking him.
Yeah, I do love the hand-to-hand combat. It looks really good.
And then Tanjiro fights the chick who's throwing the balls, and turns out she can grow more arms.
Yep. So now she has 6 arms.
Yeah, and now she's throwing even more balls at him.
Yep, she is. And it's bad. He's like, holy shit.
And then he cuts off the arms, though, because he gets his moment where he's like, now time to do my special water attack, whatever.
Ningen kata.
And then he cuts off all her arms, and he's like, cool, now I just need to get her blood and give it to the doctor lady. But it wasn't that easy.
Because there's still like 20 minutes left.
And then she grows back more arms, and then he realizes, oh shit, this is difficult. And then the dude's like, go attack the arrow guy first.
Tanjiro, just go fight the other guy.
Take out her support first.
Take out the one that is making her more deadly. Which, you know what? I probably would have done first anyway.
Yeah, and then he swaps with Nezuko. They basically tag out and they switch opponents.
And then Tanjiro gets real fucked up by Arrow Boy at first.
Yeah.
Because he tries swiping at him, but that just makes him go.
If you even touch the arrows, it now controls which direction it goes. So even if he slices at it with his sword just starts going the direction of the arrow.
Yeah, and it pulls him away. And there's a part where one of the arrows wraps around his arm, and he's like, now the arm is going to twist your arm off. And I thought it was kind of creative. Tanjiro runs up a tree
and spins the direction of the arrow.
Yeah, essentially loosening it and making it fuck off.
And he figures out the solution to beating this guy is to kind of use his own arrows against him, because he ends up getting them wrapped up in the water from his special attack and kind of redirects it.
Yeah, he combines several different techniques.
And this fucks that dude up.
Yeah.
His head got detached, I think, at the end, so I think he's out of commission.
Yeah, it did. He definitely severs that dude's head, because he uses his second form alternate horizontal water slash instead of the vertical water slash.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yep, that's it. It pretty much ends there.
Because they don't kill the ball. They don't kill the pitcher yet.
Yeah, and then that'll be next week.
Yep.
This show is fine.
It is adequate.
It looks nice.
It's enjoyable to watch because it looks nice. It is visually impressive. If this was done by, I would say, literally any other studio, I would probably not want to watch it.
Same. Senko-san.
Senko-san.
Beach episode. Everyone has fun. It's fine.
Yeah.
That's the simplistic rundown of it.
They take along the manga artist.
Yeah, the mangaka.
Yeah, and well, they don't take her along. They abduct her in her sleep.
They kidnap her in her sleep, but they made her think that she wanted to go all along, like it was their plan, and she just fell asleep on the way there.
Yep.
They're not even at a real beach. They're in like the spirit world or in between.
Yeah, they are in a beach in between the human world and the spirit world. And they're looking and they're having fun and they do some volleyball.
Yeah, all the beach stuff you've ever seen, they do that.
Yeah, literally all of it. Our boy goes to find something. I don't remember what.
Yeah.
But he ends up stumbling upon a shack where the third of our fox maidens is.
And she gives him a bunch of free food.
And is mysterious.
And disappears. And he's like, whoa, some mysterious lady gave me a bunch of free food. Let's all eat it.
Turns out she is a multi-tailed fox.
I think she's like the leader one.
If I had to guess.
Yeah. Like the head honcho.
Head sponsors.
Yeah, it's just fine. It's fine.
It's like it's the second tier of cozy, because it's not like the first. Because Bocchi is first tier cozy.
Bocchi's the best cozy.
This is like it's still kind of cozy, but it's like it doesn't.
Honestly, this show is the roadblock before we get to talk about Bocchi. It is It's the waste of space that I'm like, I want to talk about Bocchi. Get out of the fucking Fox show where they just fuck around.
This is the mattress protector on top of our mattress of Bocchi. It's like it's that little thin layer in between.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't even like this show that much, but we're so far in it, I'm like, I might as well just ride it out to the end.
Yeah, we're basically, that's pretty much where I am, because we're basically,
it's like 3 or 4 episodes left. I might as well.
We're basically done. We'll see what happens at the end. Maybe maybe something interesting will happen.
Yeah, they go to the beach this one. That's what they do.
Yeah.
But
Bocchi's real good.
Turns out, actually, I think for a lot of the cast, this is like a lot of them are newer voice actors. For Bocchi, I looked it up. This is her only like role that she has listed. So I think this is like her first major thing.
I hope I hope this is seen and she gets more work, because I really like the voice actress for Bocchi.
Yeah.
I think she's really good.
No.
Oh, she does like the scared, nervous wailing so good.
Yeah. I looked at the rest too. Pretty much all the cast only has like at most maybe like around 10 shows each.
And I like all the voice actresses for this show. I think they all do a very good job.
Yeah. I think the person who plays Aru has the most.
Well, Aru is unfortunate.
But that is fortunate to have more roles.
Yeah.
Do your best beam.
Somebody beam.
So the first part is Bocchi introducing all of her friends to disciplinary committee girl. And she introduces Aru by basically mentioning all the unfortunate stuff she does. Like, she has really unique fashion sense, like wearing a preschooler backpack.
Or coming to school with the hanger still in her shirts.
Or then my favorite is when she's explaining, this is Nako, she's always kind to me, she was the first person I made friends with, and what I could say about her is, she's the person who sits in front of me.
That's what she opens with. She's like, this is Nako, she sits in front of me.
And she's like, that's it? That's all you got?
She's also the first person who would talk to me, and these are all the people I find precious. And disciplinary girl is like, that's cool.
And they ask her, hey, well, Bocchi asks her, do you want to be in the same group on the camping trip? And she's like, nah, I don't want to go with a group of friends and stuff. And she's like, please?
Yeah.
She looks all sad, and she's like, fine. And turns out this girl really wants to make curry, because that's what you do on camping trips in Japan. You make curry. You ever see the camping episode? You make curry.
We missed the first mini segment with hotokeko.
Oh, right, yeah. So before that, Bocchi's making pancakes, hotcakes, with the girls in her group.
What's the difference between hotcakes and pancakes?
Hotcakes are fancier. But Bocchi's all nervous because this is a group of people she doesn't know.
Yep. And she's agonizing. She's like, the entrance is the most important part. How do I go in? And then they're just like, hey, Bocchi, can you measure this stuff out into the bowl?
And she's like, yeah, I can do that. And she immediately fucks it up, and like it goes everywhere. And then after, they're like, man, now we don't have enough flour or whatever to finish making our pancakes. And then she's like, it's all my fault. They're going to hate me because I ruined everything. And then she's like, wait a second. I'll go ask for more from one of the other groups.
What could possibly go wrong?
And then she realized she volunteered herself for a social interaction job. But then Aru comes in clutch because Aru is everybody's vice president.
She's the best vice president for everybody.
And I like how she says, yeah, that kind of thing happens to me all the time, so here, you can use some of my groups.
Yeah, have some of my leftovers. Of course. And Aru also gives her another task to make whipped cream.
Yeah, she's like, here, just keep stirring this. And then they realize, Bocchi, what are you doing over there? And like, you're making whipped cream. We'll probably be the only group with whipped cream on our pancakes.
We're going to be the special group. Thanks, Bocchi.
And Bocchi's like, what if it tastes terrible and I messed it up? And then she starts really digging into it, and they're like, wow, you're really digging in. And
this must be super delicious.
And she's like, I can't even taste it. I'm just so nervous.
I was too nervous to taste, but the pancakes are good.
And it turns out it worked out.
We have good pancakes, everybody. But then all that disciplinary girl stuff happens, and now they're
on
at
the camp. Yeah.
And disciplinary girl is like, I spent 2 weeks doing daily research on this. I've got a guidebook for a legendary seafood curry recipe. and everyone's just kind of like, oh, on a mountain.
Yeah, seafood, and then after she gets all bummed out thinking they don't like it, but Bocchi kind of turns it around like, no, everyone definitely wants to do that. And then
Right,
after
guys?
they're distributing the roles, it's like, all right, so disciplinary girl watches the fire, Bocchi and Sakota cut vegetables, Aru takes care of, I think,
she takes care of the fire.
Aru takes care of the fire. No, I think Aru's getting hot water or something.
Oh, she does the fire and the rice.
Yeah, Aru does the rice. And Nako supervises.
Yep.
and then she's like, the discipline girl's like, there's no position for that.
And you know what? Turns out she does a very good job supervising, because she sees Bocchi probably very close to losing a digit or two cutting onans.
Yeah.
And she walks over and she's like,
Don't do that with your fingers.
Here, do this. And she actually shows her the proper way to cut vegetables, which is like, you curl in your fingertips and then you put it down on top, and then you don't
if you didn't know that, we're helping you out.
Yeah, this is Cooking with Ian. This is how you cut veggies.
Welcome to the Protagonist seat, the internet's most anime cooking show.
Exactly. But you don't raise the knife higher than your knuckles, so like you just kind of go and then you feed it into the knife. That way your knuckles bump into the knife.
You see, whenever I cut vegetables, I put my hand as far back as I can, like behind my head, so I can't even see it as it's coming down, so I can get the most force.
I need the most force to cut onions.
It gets the cleanest cut.
I did think there was a funny bit at the end of this segment, because Bocchi's solution to cutting onions makes my eyes water. She ties a bandana around her eyes so she can't see, and then Satoka is also like,
yeah,
that's great.
That's a great idea.
I'm going to do that too.
And they just end up blindfolding themselves even while they're trying to cut vegetables.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And they end up all finally completing it, and they end up eating it, and then after
it's good.
Yeah, and then Delinquent Girl is just like, you know what? Eating with other people is kind of okay. But she sticks to her principles. At the end, she was just like, hey, Bocchi.
I knew it. I knew this was coming.
Yeah.
I could
like,
feel it.
You're trying to get stronger by having friends, and I'm trying to do the opposite. That makes us opposites. We should be rivals.
We should be rivals.
And she's like,
can
rivals be friends?
Yeah, can rivals be friends? No.
And then that's where that ends.
Crushing defeat for our girl Bocchi. But you know what? She's going to come back next week. She's going to come back even stronger.
They're going to be friends by the end. I don't care if she doesn't want to be. They're going to be friends.
The cream rises to the top.
The cream rises to the top.
Ooh, Bocchi's the cream with a crop.
That's good. People are going to like that one. That's a 10 out of 10 bit right there.
Cream of the crop.
Cream of the crop. Stealing a Macho Man Randy Savage bit is always the way to go.
Episode 8. I think this is episode 8. It's 8 or 9. Cream of the crop.
There we have it. How do we top that, though? How does the Koto top the comfy of cooking?
By having another solid episode.
Yes.
So they go and see the all-girls school do their performance, and naturally they're fucking awesome.
They are amazing.
And again, like because the series likes to do sports commentary, like it's like over music, where whoa, they're blown away. They're playing in perfect sync.
The spiritual pressure of their playing is blowing away everybody.
Normally, this is only a 2-person piece, but they're playing as if there are only 2 people there.
Yeah, they're playing a 2-person duet with 6 people, or like 8 people or something, but it feels as though there's only 2. Oh no, alternate picking styles.
Yeah, they're getting really into it, because that's the thing about this show.
It goes real hard. If you don't know anything about the Koto, you're gonna by the time the series ends.
And after they finish and everyone realizes how good they were, the girl goes and she's just like, now you should definitely join our school, and starts pulling Hozaki away. But then Kudo's like,
because
he grabs her hand and he pulls her in.
Kudo's the best boy, and he pulls her in real close.
And he's just like, she said she likes playing with us. And she's like, but you guys just saw how terrible you were compared to us. And he's like, yeah, that just means we have to try even harder.
We need to try harder to get better.
And everybody in the group's motivated by this besides Club President.
Club President spent pretty much the whole episode
Being all,
inside
like,
his...
whiny.
Yeah, he's inside his own head. He's got his own
Being
problems.
like, we're no good. We'll never be that good.
We shouldn't go to nationals, guys. You don't understand.
We'll never be as good as them. And as they're leaving, a couple guys who go to the school they're at that he used to be friends with are like, hey, what are you doing here? I'm here for...
Hey, we were worried about you because you didn't text us for like a year. What's up, dude?
And he's like, I'm in the Koto club at my school. And they're just like, Koto, that musical instrument, huh? That's kind of weird. And he's like, ha 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 ha, yeah.
And naturally...
Kudo's mad, and he's just like, why are you laughing it off?
What the fuck? What do you
You get mad at those guys.
Get mad. Get even.
He's like, I'm just kind of used to... It didn't even sound like they were really being dicks.
No, they were just like, oh, that's kind of silly. You've been...
Yeah. You disappeared for...
You disappeared for a year, just not talking to us.
And then you show up out of nowhere being like, yeah, I play this old-fashioned instrument now.
That's kind of silly.
Yeah.
But Kudo gets mad because he wants to stand up for his friend's honor. Because of course he fucking does. That's what Kudo does.
Then he goes home, and his brother's a dick to him, too. He's like, hey, you should stop it with that Kodo Club stuff. It's embarrassing. And he's just like,
Oh, my brother's mean to me.
And then he sits in his room, and he's just all sad. Oh, before they leave, though, the club advisor, the teacher, talks to him, and he's just like... Which now I realize, yeah, the teacher's actually a decent dude. He just wants them to actually be serious. Where he's like, do you actually intend to go to nationals? And he's like, yeah, what's the matter with that? He's like, well, you won't look me in the eye when you say it, so kind of tells that you're not super serious about it. He's like, if you're the club president and everyone wants to go to nationals and you don't, you're the one holding them back.
Yeah, you got if you're gonna be the club president, you got to pull your shit together and you got to lead, dude.
And then he goes back home, and he's all sad, and then after it's like, hey, you have a friend who came over, and it's, I think her name's Kurisu again?
Kurusu.
Kurusu. Yeah, she shows up, and she's like, hey, by the way, I'm going to be vice president of the club now.
Yeah, we don't have one, so that will be my job.
And she's like, also, you get into a funk all the time and get stuck in your own head, so I'm going to help you snap out of that.
Yeah, because that shit is irritating, so stop it.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, what?
We need to be shipped as the B couple.
Exactly. This wakes him up a little bit. He's like, ah.
And then he goes back and he realizes he's got to apologize to Kudo.
But first he stands up to his brother. I really liked his parents in this episode. They were
like, yeah, you stood up to your brother.
Yeah, because he's
your younger brother.
He stands up to his brother, and his mom's like, yeah. And then
it wasn't even like a hard stand up because like this seems like a very passive family where he's just like, he's like, who was that? And he's like, oh, one of his friends from his club. And he's just like, oh, his club. No, you should stop hanging out with those people. They're probably all like a bunch of problem people.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, don't say anything about stuff you don't understand. And then the brother's just like, not even just like, He just kind of looks a little dejected, and then he's just fine after.
He also gets a motivational speech from his dad, which was
like, hey, you didn't
great.
tell me you were club president. And he's like, well, I mean, by default, I was the club president by being the only member in the club.
And then his dad's like, don't throw it. You held together the club. The reason the club even exists is because you held it together and you worked hard to keep it together. Don't discount that effort. And I was like, holy shit.
That's real good.
That's a real good speech, Dad.
And he goes to see Kudo after, and he apologizes to him. And
Kudo is doing visualization training, but it looks like he's just sleeping at his desk.
Yeah. But they basically explain to each other that, hey, neither of us really believe in ourselves, but other people believe in us, so let's just believe in each other.
Yeah, we'll solve our problems that way.
Yeah, you believe in me and I'll believe in you. Believe in the me, but that believes in you.
Believe in the me that believes in you. Believe in the heart of the cards.
Yeah, and they go back to the club room, and they all decide that they're not only are they going to, he tells the group, I don't believe we can win or even get into nationals, but we're going to try it anyway.
Yep.
He's like, I want to. Even though I don't think we can do it, I want to do it.
Exactly.
And they all decide, you know what, that's good to have a really outlandish goal. So they make their goal not only to go for nationals, to get first place in nationals.
Yep, because they decide they're going to rewrite the aim for nationals sign, but each one is going to write one character.
And then they wrote aim for first place.
Yeah, because they needed 2 extra characters.
And the teacher's outside the room listening in, and he looks satisfied as he walks away because, yeah, he wants them to aim for the top, not just kind of there.
Because, as a great man once said,
"Ooh, the cream rises to the top."
The cream rises to the top.
Oh, that hurts my throat to do.
That's got to be the episode name now. We brought it up in 2 different shows.
Exactly. Well, it fits so
Can we
well.
make it fit in Robby Hachi? Probably not.
I'm gonna go for gold. Aim for nationals.
Aim for first place.
Aim for first place.
So in Robby Hachi, this episode, they go to a planet that is racist towards living organisms. It's all robots.
Because they fuck up. And instead of going to the planet with really good clams, they go to the one behind it.
Yeah, the one next to it with the shitty robot supremacy.
The planet reminded me of like an old 90s anime, because they meet a character later on who looks like he's ripped straight out of a 90s anime.
Which would make sense because that's when mecha was a lot bigger than it is now.
Yeah.
And they end up realizing, man, if they're going to just keep mistreating us because we're not mecha, and immediately I knew their solution.
Yep.
Hizu Krieger!
And it gatais. They gatai.
So they decided to just go around in the Hizu Krieger.
Yeah, and it's fine.
Yeah.
They go find some clam fishermen.
And they realize the humans are forced to do, like, slave work there.
Yeah.
And Yang shows up looking for Robby, and he starts getting mistreated there. And out of rage, he goes and he builds himself a mecha.
It's perfect.
And it looks like, Gurren, like the top half of Gurren Lagann, like Simone's part, but with Yang's face.
Exactly. It's amazing.
And he beats up this guy that was, like, mean to him when he was a person. And then after some count shows up and he's like, that guy was supposed to be my bodyguard. I want you to be my bodyguard instead.
This dude is amazing because he has like a sickle or something and it gleams, but it doesn't make a noise when it gleams. He himself makes the noise. So he's like, shing, whenever he holds it up, he's shing. And it's fucking perfect. It's so good.
And Robby and Hachi end up helping the fishermen, and then they get picked up by the king of some area. So basically there's 2 sides warring, and Yang ends up working with the count, and they end up working with the king.
Because it turns out that the nobles on this planet war for sport because they're robots, and so they won't die.
They also war. It's like some kind of like evolutionary thing where like the best robots will come out on top and the worst ones will be destroyed.
Yeah. And in the slave group, they meet a young kid who has green hair and a scar on his face, and he's definitely never gonna come back. He's no need to think about him ever again.
And they both get contracted to fight for their respective sides, and then Robby really needs to use a bathroom, so they go to where the slaves are.
I like when Robby and Hachi get picked up because the guards for the king are like approaching on them, and Robby's just like, I'm gonna make he's a javelin, shoot fire, and then they get close and he's like, I'm really gonna do it.
One more step, guys, and I'm gonna do it. And they're like, wait a second. I can see you're a powerful warrior. You should fight for my side.
It's so good. I love it.
And then Robby sees all the people living in squalor, all the slaves again. He's like, hey, it's you again, the guy that fed us the clams. And he's like, yeah, life's pretty terrible here. And he's like, why don't you guys just start a revolution? They're like, what's a revolution?
Yeah, what's that?
And then they go out to the battlefield to fight, and they're like, we already got paid, but we could get paid more. Let's just look like we're helping and just kind of flail around in the background.
And turns out the battlefield conditions are perfect for humans because the count releases
some kind of fog that also does like a jamming thing, but none of the robots can see.
So if the humans were taken out of this scenario, this battle would literally be 2 armies flailing around in a mist that they can't see in.
Exactly.
It is literally only because Yang and Robby and Hachi are there
And they
that anything happens.
Oh, and Yang's sidekicks are forced to run on the battle in suits of armor just as themselves.
Yeah.
And they start basically fucking up all the robots because none of them can do anything.
Exactly. It's easy to win a war when your enemy can't fight back.
And then Yang ends up finding Robby and Hachi, and as he's about to get Robby, they all of a sudden all start getting fired upon by a bunch of like siege weapons and like tanks and stuff.
Yeah.
So it turns out the slaves all took Robby's advice and started a revolution by taking the real weapons.
Yeah, because they had the real weapons, but those were only for planetary defense.
Yeah. And so they end up just starting a revolution, and Robby's like, "Hey guys, good luck with your revolution. See you later."
Yeah, see ya. We're gonna head out now.
And
Take
then
it easy.
They're like, and Yang stays behind to help them. They're like, "Why are you helping us?"
And Yang's response is, "I just really hate these guys. These guys were mean to me."
And they do like this dramatic thing where it's like a cover where it shows like all of his like men like his two henchmen with like the bullet vests on and stuff, holding the guns, looking all dramatic.
It's so good.
But yeah, the most casual revolution ever.
So Robby and Hachi, on a quest to get clams, destabilize a government and start a revolution.
Yeah. Typical, tourism stuff.
Yeah, it's...
Reminds me of my last trip to Venezuela.
Maybe that shouldn't be something you want to have out on the internet. Maybe that's something you keep close to the vest.
Yeah, I'm not going back. I don't think I'm allowed back at this point.
Fuck it, I'm not going back there. You see the state I left that place in? I'm not going back. Oh, good shit. Good shit, man.
All because I logged onto the wrong Wi-Fi network.
You gotta be careful. All of a sudden, you got the police at your door, and you can't let them catch you. You don't want to be in a Venezuelan prison.
Yeah.
Trust me, dude. Trust me. I've been in every prison, man.
I've been in every prison. You can trust me.
You can trust me.
All right. And that was an anime this week.
Yeah, that's our seasonal anime roundup for this week.
Yeehaw, that's our seasonal anime roundup.
What's the one from Cowboy Bebop? Like the Bounty Head roundup or something?
I forget. But they doesn't use like a southern voice because he's like doing a very, for some reason, like Mexican accent.
Yeah, because he's a Mexican dude.
Yeah. Even though you find out he's an actor and he's not.
Yeah. I actually love that revelation. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
Man, Cowboy Bebop's so good. Watch that. Watch that too.
Yeah, if you haven't already seen it. If you have seen it, watch it again.
Fuck it. Watch it again. It's really good. Watch the movie.
Yeah, let's go watch it right now. We gotta leave and go watch Cowboy Bebop again, so bye. See you next time. Subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe to get updates to our YouTube channel. Like the video. It helps us get more exposure.
Yeah. Expose us. Let everyone know what we did.
Open up your trench coat and expose your fandom to the world.
Ring that bell.
Yes, to get alerts.
Or
also,
check out our Twitter.
Exactly. Check out our Twitter. Retweet our shit. That also helps us get exposure.
At Protagonist sheet.
And this is on Twitter.
Yeah.
So don't be typing in at Protagonist seat on Tumblr. You're not gonna get anything.
Yeah, we're not there.
No. I don't think anyone's there anymore.
No.
Ever since they banned porn on it, it's not the same.
Yeah, no one's there. How to kill your website in one easy step.
Just take it away. Just take away what everyone loves.
Yeah. Take away the reason people go there.
If a large portion of your user base is like, hey, don't take this away, just take that away and they'll leave.
Get rid of your website. Or do what like Blizzard does with any game. Just make it not fun. Take out the stuff that made it fun.
Yeah, take out the fun to make it more appealable to a wide audience.
Yeah, which doesn't please anybody.
No.
Because you know what? There's a lot of stuff that's appealing to a wide audience.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, and you know what? When you have that many options, you don't care about everything.
I want my niche garbage.
Niche garbage.
Give me niche garbage, Blizzard.
Yep. Blizzard specifically.
That's why we're here. We're here to provide niche garbage to people.
And to Blizzard. See you next time.
See ya.